In this video we are going to introduce three strategies for calculating as-built volumes. So the first strategy is just simply calculating the volume within a single surface. So a common example of this is if I had a stockpile and wanted to know how much material was in that stockpile, well, we could delineate the base of it. We could do that manually, or we could use something like a contour to define it. And I'm going to just say that feature we have selected is a surface volume boundary. We'll hit apply. Then we'll go over to terrain modeling, calculate volumes. We select volumes enclosed by a single surface. We want to tabulate that just for the polygon areas that have that surface volume boundary property turned on. So that property there. And we can see, well, it's showing that we have 1900 cubic meters of fill in that particular pile. And if we wanted to change the way we consider it, we could flip around what's the original surface. And okay, if we were to get rid of that, we'd have 1900 cubic meters of cut. So that's pretty straightforward. Volumes between enclosed in a single surface. Next, let's consider, well, something like this, where we actually have our yellow surface as one terrain file. So that one there. And our gray surface as another terrain file. So this one here. And this particular file is just set up to show both of them simultaneously as a background. So I can see both of the terrain files in my list. Now if I want to calculate the volume between both of those surfaces, once again I can go over to terrain modeling, calculate volumes, and instead this time I'm going to do calculate volumes between two surfaces. We could select other surfaces if we wanted to consider those, and we can hit OK, and there we are. We can see that our fill volume, 33,000 cubic yards. Our cut volume, 66,000 cubic yards. Away we go. And if we wanted to account for expansion factors, of course we could down here. Now, oftentimes, we, especially for linear infrastructure like this, we may not want to consider that just as the tin subtraction. We might want to consider it, well, how much dirt are we excavating and using as fill as a function of our station range. And that's going to open us up to consider our mass haul movement. So if we want to do that, we certainly can, but we're going to use the other module. So far we've been in terrain. And to do that, we'll go over to location. So in location, we are going to define our topo surface. And the source of that data doesn't really matter. This one happens to be conventional survey data, but it could be whatever we want. And I happen to have an alignment already defined here, but of course we could draw it in if we'd like. And I'm not going to calculate cross-section volumes yet. I'm going to just turn that to empty. So we can see we have our topo surface being defined there. We can see where the center line is that we brought in, but again we could have drawn that if we'd like. But so far we're not calculating volumes. And we don't really want to calculate the volumes as though we're doing a design. Instead we want to calculate that based off of that other surface that we have. So to do that, we're going to go up here. We're going to click Reference Surfaces. We're going to click Add. We're going to add in a terrain file. That terrain file is going to be our surface with the subgrade information in this case. And here it happens to be, well, based off, I believe it's drone data. And we are going to tell the software, well, let's consider that surface as part of our volumes for this alignment. So we're going to turn that checkbox on. We're going to turn on this, or set this to be subgrade, so we're accounting for it in our masshaul. We hit OK. We'll hit continue. And we're going to do a quick recalc. And there we are. We can see we've got our masshaul being calculated here. We can see our volumes being tabulated down here. So, and we can zoom in and we can see what it is we're up against as we model that. And of course, if we want to add more information in there, maybe we're spoiling that surplus material, we could add that in as a pit. We could add in different sub-horizons if we wanted to, so on and so forth. But broadly, that is the concept, that we have those two surfaces and we can compare the volumes between both surfaces.